funeral for Kenya's former President Mwai Kibaki is underway in the country's capital, Nairobi. President Cyril Ramaphosa, along with several other African heads of state and global dignitaries, have gathered at the Nyayo National Stadium to pay their last respects to Kibaki. The former statesman died last Friday at the age of 90. He served as the country's third president from 2002 to 2013. Kibaki will be buried tomorrow at his home in central Kenya. Let's talk about this then. We're joined by Independent Africa Asia analyst Thembisa Fakude. Mr. Fakude, a very good afternoon to you. Welcome to the program. So, as Kibaki's funeral is now underway, have we even fully begun to grapple and make sense of who he was, not only in Kenyan politics, but perhaps on the continent as a whole?
Yes, he was quite an important player in African politics. But he actually changed and brought a semblance of democracy to Kenya, if you remember, after the tenure of President Arap Moi, where there was a dictatorship creeping in. And when Mwai Kibaki came in, there was a semblance of democracy emerging. So he'll be remembered as one of those African leaders that fostered democracy. But secondly, he was also very passionate about education. When he came in 2008, he actually introduced 100% subsidy of all school-going kids at high school level. And he will be remembered for that as well. So the Kenyans have lost a great leader. And I'm sure most of them will be joining the commemorations as the Pan-Africanist leaders gather in Nairobi to celebrate the life of Mwai Kibaki.
And Mwai Kibaki, of course, famously defeated the Kenya African National Union, which he'd been part of, and it had, when he won the presidency in 2002, been in charge of Kenya or won elections for at least 40 years or so. How was he able to make that transition from being a member of a party that had for so long ruled to then being a successful opposition candidate?
Well, that's what makes him remarkable, isn't it? Because he was able to transition from historically sitting on top of the political power into becoming part of the opposition. And I'm hoping that this is a lesson to many other African organizations, particularly political organizations, who continue to dominate African politics, that they mustn't take it for granted that their majority will always be confirmed.
And how much of what he stood for, do you think, especially during those years as president? You mentioned education and the other ways in which he helped develop Kenyan society. How much of that legacy remains in the Kenya of today?
Well, it is. I mean, he was the third elected president in Kenya after first was Jomo Kenyatta, then Arap Moi and him. And now we have Uhuru Kenyatta, the fourth democratic elected president. So things seem to be moving okay. We had some couple of weeks ago when Uhuru Kenyatta tried to change the constitution and was defeated in the parliament. That in itself was a good sign that the Kenyan democracy was maturing. So by the look of things now, notwithstanding the post-electoral violence that in the past engulfed the Kenyan society, we see semblance of democracy, and we see Kenya economically also moving forward. So I think he has left a good legacy and has left Kenya in good hands in Uhuru Kenyatta.
And let's speak about the post-election violence of 2007, because in many of the obituaries that have been written, that is largely listed as perhaps the largest blemish on his time as a president of a country. Did he ever fully atone perhaps for whatever role he should have shouldered in what happened in Kenya? Because it was a terrible period. Thousands of people fled their country. About 1,200 are believed to have been killed.
Well, the relationship between him and Raila Odinga, who was at the time contesting for the same position, has in the past couple of years improved. Of course, with age, you'd expect them that they'll start talking. But he has never come in public to account for what had happened. But Uhuru Kenyatta has drawn in over the years to participate in other functions in the Kenya which require statements involvement. So although he never accounted, took responsibility for that violence, but he became a mainstream political player in the politics of Kenya over the years.
Thank you very much for that, Thembisa Fakude.